You know, I really like the Fire Emblem games artwork. They really have some great character designs.
Yeah.
Really well thought out. You know, they actually have come out with a new Fire Emblem game just the other day. Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia.
That's what I've been hearing all the fuss about lately?
Yeah, it's a remake of the second game, Fire Emblem Gaiden from the NES, Famicom in Japan.
And how many games do we have?
I believe there's 17 in the series total now. You know, we actually have a friend that's huge into the Fire Emblem series.
I know exactly who you're talking about, but where is she?
I said we have a friend that's really huge into the Fire Emblem series.
Shh, not now.
Excuse me a minute.
Dude, what the? Come on, what the fuck? Dude,
sit down,
give it back.
sit down.
Give it fucking back.
Yeah.
Dude, I will kick the shit out of you. Give it back. Mother?
You get it back after the video.
But I was in the middle of playing.
You can pick it up after the video.
Hey, Joey.
Hey, Kyle. You're not a part of this, right? I can just kick his ass?
Let's do the review first, and then...
So, fun fact, it's actually 15 games.
I was wrong. I thought it was 17.
No, this is the 15th game, and it's actually called Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia.
Ah, so I even had the name wrong.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm the Fire Emblem girl. My very first Fire Emblem game was Fire Emblem and the Sacred Stones. I was visiting a friend, and I went out and bought a Game Boy SP, and I bought the copy of the game because it just looked kind of funky. But I've played the first American game we got, I believe, was just called Fire Emblem. Can't remember what it was in Japan, but the main characters were Hector, Lynn, and Prince Elwood. Very fun, very interesting. Then Sacred Stones, then we got Path of Radiance, and then we got Emblem, Radiant Dawn, then Shadow Dragon. I had it and lost it and didn't get to play through it. But after that we got Fire Emblem Awakening, which was almost the last game. If they didn't sell 250,000 copies, that wouldn't have been it. So they went balls to the wall. They gave us kids, they gave us marriage. Technically they kind of hinted at that, but anyways, they gave us our own avatar, which again, in the first English Fire Emblem, you got, but you couldn't decide what they looked like. You got a name and everything, but this you got to make your own avatar, and
that really did wonderful for the series. They ended up selling over 2 million copies of that particular game.
And it saved it. And then
their goal, they met it in spades.
Oh yeah, which I have it, and it's a fabulous game. But so after Fire Emblem Awakening came Fire Emblem Fates, which had 3 games within the series, or within itself: Birthright, Conquest,
and Revelations.
Revelations, motherfucker! I hate everyone.
Now, one of those games was a DLC pack.
They were all technically DLC.
Oh, okay. It was one game, and then you could buy the others as DLC.
You could get it. I got a special pack, which came with Fire Emblem Birthright, and then you got to download Conquest, or you got a code. Revelations didn't get down. Was like 2 weeks afterwards. But also both Awakening and Fates had DLC, which hadn't been done before. Which this new game also has of it. I'm gonna give my gripes on that in a few minutes. But again, Fates had make your own avatar, which this one was special. You got to be a dragon.
That's cool.
The main character was never a dragon. Each game, while having the same characters, all had a different story, all had a different possible path. And it was great. And now we have the new one, which I was really excited for. And while I am enjoying it, I do have a few issues.
Such as?
Well, I like that everything, they actually have a spoken dialogue, whereas it's like, you get lines like, brother, sister, Azura, so-and-so.
Yeah, I find in RPGs the voice acting, the way the characters, if they get good voice actors, the way they read the lines can help pull you into the story a little bit more, make you have more of a connection to the character. Like, you can end up caring about the character a little more, as opposed to when you're trying to read the line yourself and trying to figure out how does this character feel. You can hear in their voice how they feel. Whereas,
in most of the games it is just like a word with them, like, they say brother, but it's, please don't go do this, I'm worried about you. This one, it's, the whole line is spoken. It's all spoken word, and that's great. I also like that I don't have to keep tapping A every 3 seconds. There's a little button I can press and everything goes through. There are some cool new mechanics. You get to check out some dungeons. They're awesome. But it introduced a new mechanic, fatigue.
What's wrong with that?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I've experienced this in other RPGs and action adventure games.
If in Birthright you're screwing around and you're a mage and you're fireball, you don't get tired. Your attacks suddenly don't get weaker.
Mm-hmm.
You throw a fireball and suddenly you go from doing 10 damage to 2 because you're fatigued. In Fire Emblem, in Awakening back, all of the weapons had a certain amount of uses. And then they did away with that in Fates, except for the healing items, which broke. But in this one, you don't even get to pick your weapon. It's just, oh, you get a sword attached to you, you get a bow attached to you. If you get the special one, you can do blank.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about that yet. Also with the healers, with Elise, I can heal anyone till the cows came home. But here, if I heal someone, it does damage. Which that could be life or death in the game.
Mm.
Also, like its predecessors of Awakening and Fates, it has the casual mechanic. Which is I could lose my person and then bring them back, which is great. I personally like casual because I love doing the supports, which also you don't get a castle, you don't get barracks, you can't just sit around and prepare for this. And the map on this, in all the games prior, while some had maps and some didn't, there were chapters. This, it's just, battle, battle.
So basically the way the story is unfolding is rather than chapters, it's you're going from point A to point B to point C and then so on and so forth.
Well, point A has about 5 enemies, and then point B has 6 enemies, and then point C has a dungeon, which you get your head eaten off, which is a huge pain.
So is it too quick for you?
Oh no, it's not too quick. It's not that at all. I like a little story in between besides just fight.
Mm.
So it's more like, yeah, like I said, like you're basically going from one point to the next, having a fight, and then going to the next point, rather than having a like stories in between each of these places and battles.
It almost reminds me of the Tales of series, just barely, because there's dungeon exploring, and you could hit a monster, and then poof, it's 5 completely different things.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of things, and I haven't really gotten attached to the characters yet. I'm hoping that changes soon, because I've known about this for months, and I pre-ordered this a couple of months ago.
And Amazon didn't screw you over this time.
Yes. There's a little fuck up with my Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I am a Prime member. I pre-ordered, and I got it like 3 days after it's supposed to come in. So I got it for free. Life is good.
Mm.
But yeah, so I got to play, and I haven't really put it down except for I kind of fell asleep yesterday. I worked all day, and there was a fan, and it was comfy, and I conked out.
So we've talked about things that have happened in the game that you haven't liked, that haven't grabbed onto you for whatever reason. Is there anything in the game that you're finding is particularly enjoyable? Maybe it's something you've experienced in the past games, or
Maybe
it's something that's completely new to this game, or is there anything in the game specifically that you're looking at and you're being like, well, I'm glad that they did this?
I do like that for certain starting when I first played, you needed special items to level up your characters. Like the knights needed the knight crest and the Orion's bolt for the archers, and then they just did away with that and made master seals, which are great.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fates brought in the offspring seal and the friendship seal, which is cool. It was your parents are this and this, so you can do this and skip up a bunch of levels, or your significant other is this, skip it. This one you don't need any seals, which were, when you're running low on money, was great. It's also, you might like your character as an archer and want to stick with that, but maybe you want to check out and see what they do as a soldier. So it doesn't cost you anything to do it, it's just show up to a statue and change. At the same time though, I feel like I prefer sticking with their original classes, and with them starting off as villagers, there is a character in the game that, when I play Fire Emblem Heroes as well, in that she starts off as an archer. In this one, I couldn't even pick for her to be an archer.
At the beginning, it just gave you this one default job.
They were all villagers.
So you have no options.
Well, that's similar to the way a lot of games start, though. A lot of RPG games. I know the Bravely series, they start out, you just have this one job, and as you progress through the story, you unlock more jobs.
Yeah.
And I believe that Final Fantasy III it went with a similar method.
Actually, this one's kind of sexist. The female character, I believe her name is Faye. She could have become a mage. She could have become a knight. Or she could become priestess. The guys could be soldiers and archers and all these other things, but no, one of these 3 things.
She can only be one of 3 things. Wow.
Fuck that shit. I want to be. You know what? I want to be a soldier.
To be fair, in that crediting to that is this game is a remake of a game from what was it, 1992, somewhere in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And especially as a game that was exclusive to Japan for so long. They have different cultural values, so over there to them, that might not have been such a big deal.
That is true.
But
you know what? No, it's 2007.
But also, to be fair to American players, this is a updated localization of it. They maybe could have gone and made some efforts to changing that, but
you know
I think they might not have wanted to try and keep it as original to what it was first intended to be.
I think this might have also been one of the first instances where they introduced supports.
Yeah.
In Awakening, in Fates, they introduced the marriage mechanic, which in earlier games, if you built support up high enough, it would say that so-and-so married so-and-so, but in Awakening, you got to see the kid. So, yeah, it's kind of awkward. Just imagine, like, you're coming home from work one day, and you've just gotten married. Grown-ass kid just shows up. Hey, Dad.
You've watched Once Upon a Time.
Took several storks.
Dude, I'd be kind of concerned about my body. How did I pop that out so quick? But anyways, it involves
pregnancy.
Dude, I have stuff to prevent that. Anyways, Fates explained it with time. Not Fates. I'm sorry. Awakening explained it with time travel. But this one, it's like, again, Faye. I'm not that far in it, and I'm not looking at spoilers because I don't want to ruin it for myself. But it's looking like some characters just have such a bleak ending because they can't be with someone. It's like, shit, dude.
Wow.
Even like in Fire Emblem Awakening, Cordelia was in love with Grom. Of course, she couldn't be with him because life sucks. But she found someone else. Thraja, or however you pronounce her name. I'm really sorry whoever I offend with that. She's the one that there's a lot of dirty fan art about. She's the dark sorceress. Anyways, she's obsessed with the avatar, male or female. She could find someone else. Same with Rajat. Though she can end up with with the avatar, male or female, then you just don't get one of the babies. They also, in Fates, introduced homosexuality, which I think is great. I just kind of wish it was Silas instead of Niles, but that's another story. Fire Emblem Echoes is a combination of past and future. It's introducing a whole new thing with dungeons, which I would like to see later on, but I would also like to see the chapters brought back. I also really enjoy the child mechanic. I think it's really cool to get the, to try to create, I guess, kind of a character, because when you have the child, it's a mixing of the parents' stats, and you could have, like, you could have a fucking tank from a mage.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mages are usually good in defense.
But they're squishy. No, mages are squishy.
Oh.
No, if you have the right, if you were to mix, say, Rajat with Corrin could have some pretty decent stats. Then his Kana, his little girl, could have the potential to be an awesome sorceress, an awesome mage, and an awesome bunch of shit. And you could create just this badass. I enjoy having big armies. I enjoy seeing how they interact, and I don't know, maybe when I see Silica, maybe I'll get fond of her or something, but just, I don't know, Alm isn't really attaching himself. Alm is is kind of like Takumi.
In what way?
Takumi was an asshole. And he's not gelling with me right. Maybe Silica will be like Hinoka and be an awesome character, but somewhere down the line, probably within the next month, we'll do another review of me finishing the game. Because,
An updated
damn it.
review would be a lot better.
Yeah, damn it, he won't let me look at it.
Right now we're just sticking with early impressions because the game just came out yesterday,
I
May
received
19th, which was the day before we're recording this video.
I started playing at about 2 o'clock. Because I got home about 12:30, took my dog out, and then I had to relax after work.
So this is just some preliminary impressions. Once she's deeper into the game and even beaten it, she can give full thoughts on what she didn't like or dislike.
Well, like, you know what? The second Fire Emblem game I played, the first one we got with Hector and everyone, I wasn't that fond of it. It didn't gel with me, but now it's one of my favorites. Same with, like, Tales of the Abyss. I was kind of...
That does
So you
happen
just give us
sometimes.
some
A
time.
game that you don't like, you play it a little bit more, and
And then you find something you
even
like
sometimes
about
if you just give up on it for a little while and play something else and then you go back to
Yeah.
it, you end up enjoying it more and
it's
being like,
kinda-
I don't know why I gave up playing this game.
Yeah, it's kind of like I want to go back to Fates already and just go screw around some more. But hopefully this will be like a fungus and grow on me. Now can I have my game back?
So we're going to call that a video. We want to give a big thanks to our friend Elder Tenchi, who is helping us out with recording this, giving us a place to record, and he will be editing this video for us. Thank you a lot for that.
No problem.
And here you go. Here's your reward.
Ah!
And she takes off right away. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'm Crypto Nightmare, and we will see you in the future in another video. And happy gaming!